One morning, obstetrician Rebecca received an urgent phone call. On the other end, a voice pleaded with her to come quickly for a delivery. But this time it wasn't a woman in labor, it was a gorilla. Rebecca froze. She had never delivered an animal before, especially not a gorilla. Uncertain but determined, she took a deep breath, pushed aside her fears, and headed out. When she arrived at the sanctuary, an eerie silence filled the air. Rebecca stepped forward, and the gorilla locked eyes with her. In that very moment, something happened that left everyone completely stunned. Western lowland gorillas live in the dense rainforests and swamps of Central Africa. Tragically, their population has plummeted by 60% over the last 25 years, and they're now critically endangered. So, when the staff at the Smithsonian National Zoo discovered that one of their gorillas was expecting a baby, it sparked immense joy. The star of this story was a 15-year-old female gorilla named Kayla. Born and raised at the zoo, Kayla never knew her biological family. Over time, the staff became her surrogate family. Unlike most gorillas, Kayla was highly sociable and loved human interaction. This made her a favorite among the caregivers, who always believed she would one day make a wonderful mother. But the wait for that day took longer than expected. Most female gorillas give birth around the age of 10. When Kayla turned 14, the team began to worry she might never have a child. But the following year, something changed. Subtle signs began to appear. Because gorillas have large abdomens, it's often hard to tell if they're pregnant. But like humans, they experience symptoms: morning sickness, digestive discomfort, and reduced appetite. Kayla showed all of these. The first to notice was her caretaker, Meredith Bastian, who quickly informed the rest of the team. They ran a standard human pregnancy test, which came back negative. But Meredith trusted her instincts and requested a retest 2 weeks later. This time, the entire team waited anxiously. Meredith picked up the test stick, closed her eyes, and counted down. 3, 2, 1. She opened her eyes. 2 strong lines. Positive. Kayla was pregnant. The team burst into celebration, but they also knew the hard work was just beginning. It was Kayla's first pregnancy, and she needed to be prepared for birth and nursing. Thankfully, Kayla was a fast learner. She learned to urinate on command for hormone testing, and even participated in breast movement training for nutritional checks. Regular ultrasounds showed her baby was developing well. Everything suggested a strong mother-infant bond was on the way. As the pregnancy progressed, the team remained closely involved. Gorillas can sometimes become aggressive after birth, so the staff trained Kayla for potential post-delivery interventions. Fast responses could be critical if the baby was born with complications. Gorilla pregnancies last around 8 months. When Kayla reached her 7th month, the excitement grew. The team even gave the unborn baby a name, Moke, meaning the little one, in Lingala, a language spoken in Central Africa. They gave Kayla soft toys to cuddle and showed her videos of mother gorillas caring for their young. Then, one evening, Kayla went into labor. Gorilla births typically last between 6 to 12 hours, so the team remained calm. But as 11 hours passed, worry set in. Staff watched her every move, recording everything on camera. After 13 long hours, it happened. Kayla gave birth to a healthy baby boy. She stood up, gently picked him up, and placed soft kisses on his face. Their bond was instant. The team broke into tears of joy. They had just witnessed a miracle, a 15-year-old gorilla becoming a mother. There were no words for the joy in the room. Applause filled the air as they welcomed the new baby. Even after the birth, the staff continued to care for Kayla and Moke with love and dedication. And to this day, their bond remains strong and unshakable. Kayla's successful natural birth was nothing short of a miracle. But not every gorilla is so fortunate. In some cases, surgical intervention is the only way. That's exactly what happened in 2016 at the Philadelphia Zoo. A female gorilla named Kira was pregnant, and the entire zoo staff eagerly awaited the birth. Until then, the zoo had seen many natural and safe deliveries. But this one was different. Gorillas don't show the same intense pain symptoms as humans during labor. They may walk around, eat, or explore their environment, showing little sign they're in labor. As a result, gorilla births are rarely witnessed and almost never recorded. Fortunately, the Philadelphia team noticed early signs that something wasn't right. Kira began raising her arms, squatting often, but no baby came. Labor had started in the evening, but by midnight, nothing had progressed. By morning, her condition remained unchanged. Kira looked exhausted, weak, and wouldn't touch her food. It was clear she couldn't give birth on her own. An obstetrician was needed. A local hospital was called, and the phone was answered by Rebecca. "Hello? We're prepping for a C-section. Anesthesia is ready," said the voice on the line. Rebecca was confused. "I'm not scheduled for any deliveries today," she said. She asked who was calling. The reply was simple. "A gorilla can't give birth." Rebecca froze. She had never treated a non-human patient, and her first would be a gorilla. Still, she didn't hesitate. Someone needed her help. She dropped everything and drove straight to the zoo. It took about 20 minutes. When she arrived, Kira had been placed on a stretcher and moved to a nearby facility. Rebecca performed an ultrasound. The baby's heartbeat was strong, but its position was off. The baby was in breech position, feet first, instead of face forward like in typical gorilla births. That's why labor hadn't progressed. The team was hesitant to perform a C-section due to the long recovery, but they trusted Rebecca. First, she cleaned Kira, emptied her bladder, and helped her relax. Then, she made a small incision in the perineal area to widen the birth canal. The room went silent. All eyes were on her. Rebecca took a deep breath and gently delivered the baby. "The baby's here," she exclaimed. Cheers and applause followed. The newborn, a healthy male, weighed 2.26 kilograms. That night, the staff stayed with Kira as she recovered from anesthesia. The next morning, they introduced her to her baby. The moment she saw him, she knew. Their bond was immediate. They've been inseparable ever since. Reflecting on the experience, Rebecca said, "At the time, I was just doing my job. But afterward, I thought, wow, I delivered a gorilla." And what made it even more remarkable, Rebecca herself was 28 weeks pregnant during the operation.